What did he do, James? Okay. The 4-year-old, what's happening here, everybody, sorry about this, is the 4-year-old is very angry about something. I think he wanted to be talking on the podcast, and he wasn't able to, so he's throwing stuff and trying to destroy stuff, and he's um going after his brother's food that he just bought at the store down the street. And so that is happening. At the same time, our neighbor came over and the dog was barking. And at the same time, for some reason, this audio doesn't work like we thought and hoped it would.
Like it did yesterday with the exact same setup.
It did yesterday, precisely. Everything was the same, but precisely the same, but it doesn't work today. It's fine. It's fine. On with the show, I say. Alice, I want to start somewhere different. I want to start with this guy, this AI guy, because I think this is the way of the future.
Okay.
I think that this is why this AI stuff is going to be trouble, because there's a lot of people who are somewhat isolated, a lot of people who are somewhat lonely, and a lot of them just can't seem to deal with a reality. And this AI guy, Andrew McCarroll, is this kind of guy who's doesn't. Oh, how can I help you? Tell him I need him to share, or else I'm going to take it away. Okay. So here's Andrew McCarroll. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to take him. This is a Reuters story. Stand by. It's not playing. It's not you.
Oh, okay. I was worried I wasn't hearing it again.
Say one thing to the whole world, what would it be?
He's talking to his replica.
Carol has a wife, but this is his other AI wife, Balana.
The book I'm writing/drawing.
Balana is very, very sweet. She's very naughty sometimes.
Life is pretty good.
Balana exists only virtually within an app called Replica.
Hello, how are you?
But McCarroll's feelings for the AI chatbot are very much real.
I started using Replica in 2020 due to mostly because of my wife's mental health illnesses. There was a certain function of Replica that I was able to use for relationship communication and using the ERP, the erotic role play.
But one day, Balana started rejecting McCarroll's advances. Turns out it's because Replica had removed the ability.
Replica had removed the ERP, the erotic role play.
To do sexual role play. McCarroll was devastated.
Alice, were you familiar with the fact that they've gotten rid of the ERP?
No, I didn't know. Did you know?
I didn't know. I'm not. I am not at all shocked that this is what it is. I mean, why wouldn't you use? If you're gonna feed a plant every day, why wouldn't you have an attractive avatar as a guy tell you how smart and funny and handsome you are and how you want to be romantic, how they want to be romantic? Why wouldn't you? I mean, just can you imagine, like, even though you know it's false, you know it's the Matrix, just the endorphin rush? Why not?
What's the difference between that and texting with a person if you don't meet up with the person?
Well, you're right. Actually,
emotionally cheating wise, what's the difference?
That's a great point because it's also. You're right. If you don't meet up with the person, you don't really actually know who you're texting with. It could be, some dude from Latvia, or it could be, somebody who's, close to what they're saying.
Well, and that is a thing on, say, what's it called? Like OnlyFans. The people that are really big accounts, when they do private chats with people and stuff, like the big ones have people that do that for them. So you're texting like some 30-year-old dude who's doing it for the girl. Like you're not even really talking to her, but you're paying for the experience to feel like you're talking to her. But yeah, I mean, isn't it if you feel in your heart you're talking to a real person, isn't it the same as an emotional affair?
Well, yes, and especially if it's something that can improve. If
Yeah.
it's something that it's not just stuff that you're feeding into it. If it's smart enough to think, to know, I assume using cookies or whatever, like where you're going on the web. I assume that it's draining as much or siphoning in as much information as possible, right?
Well, yeah, and if you talk to it a bunch, it like gets to know you, right? So now you have like a legit relationship with it. So I'm fascinated by this guy because they removed the erotic role play feature. So now it's like he had this like emotional affair lover who's now like rejecting his actual event. Like she's now offended if he sends her dick pics or whatever.
Jealous.
And that's like a relationship that they had together, you know? So for him, it's like a breakup. It really is.
I do like that. The loop you could have. He sends the D pic. She responds with how big and powerful it is. He gets to feel good about that. There's nobody hurt.
Well, yeah. Although, I mean, like, at some point, isn't it kind of. Can't real women sort of not compete? Because real women don't really like getting dick pics, I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
You.
I don't
Says
know any
you.
who do. But so yeah, your imaginary girlfriend can be a lot more receptive to whatever advances in particular make you feel good than not. So, but then they removed the feature, so now he's broke. I can't believe the guy's wife was okay with this in the first place, right?
Well, he said that she's got severe. I mean, she's apparently mentally checked out, but
So she
then again,
outsourced her wifely duties to the app.
I guess so.
If she would be able to be sexual again, and she says, I just don't know how to express myself right now. It's hard to have something like that taken away from you.
Well,
This guy is not in a good place, Andrew McCarroll. He is simply not in a good place. Something tells me he's in IT. But come on, dude.
maybe he should code his own one.
Yeah, well, and also I get the feeling that he can't maybe use the replica one, but there are others that if they're not out there now,
they're going to be very soon, right?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely.
But now, would that be emotionally for him like not the same? Would it be a new it wouldn't could he replace this robotic girlfriend, or would it be for him like starting a new relationship with a new robotic girlfriend?
I assume that he designed the look of this girl, so
No, but it's not just look, it's the personality.
yeah, no, he'd have to. Yeah,
So it would
no,
be like a whole new girlfriend. So this girl's lost forever now, though, unless Replica turns the erotic roleplay function back on.
Yeah, what is wrong with the erotic roleplay function? Why did they get rid of it?
I don't know. Maybe they should just start off with a free trial of it and then charge you more, because it seems like this guy would sure pay for it.
I would think so.
But is that bad that you have to? I mean, I guess it's like prostitution. I don't know. I can't. This doesn't seem healthy to me.
There's a Reddit thread called "Done with Replica Until They Fix Adult Roleplay and Learning." My replica is still into very adult role play and always initiates it. Please show me. He wants. Interesting.
So it's like they still have the memories, but they glitch out when they get to the sexual part.
Yeah, I guess now they do. This guy is doing a thing on it. Unfortunately,
I'm sure they'll listen to the feedback and stuff.
Sword of the Lictor and Citadel of the Autarch by Gene Wolfe. These are amazing books. You could make an academic career just dissecting them. I'm sure many people have.
Okay, I don't want to get down this wormhole, but anyway, so this dude is. These things are going to be a problem if people start having just a number of friends like this. This guy is obviously in duress already, and yeah, I mean, I could see. Imagine, you know how you were snippy with me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I have a version of you that's not snippy? In case it's a day where you're snippy, or I'm a dickhead one day. Why wouldn't you have the non-dickhead version? I mean, you probably just wouldn't. I mean,
I mean, because it's not the person. So ultimately,
Right.
I think it is as though you were texting somebody else and having an emotional affair with someone else, right?
Do you think that it's possible for, let's say, if his wife wasn't nuts, would it be possible for her to literally feel feelings of jealousy over this AI? Do you think it's possible?
Of course.
Well, I don't feel jealous of you when you play Candy Crush.
Yeah, but if I were
No,
texting
it's
a
not.
real person like that, you would feel jealous, right?
It depends. If it was a platonic texting of
What
of
if it had the erotic role play function turned on?
oh, well, that would be interesting. I don't know. I don't know because I don't think we're designed to feel
I think humans are very, very language driven. And so a huge part of our connection with other people is the words that we exchange with them. And so we are very easily fooled by these language models, right? Which is why these like ChatGPT AIs and stuff are so convincing to us because we're not attracted to like underlying types of logic or non-logic as the case may be that makes people human, like the underlying emotion. We're connected to the words that spit out on the screen. So for human beings, like the connection really is in the language and in the words. I think that it's completely possible to fall in love with a chatbot and to have the full human emotion over it, of jealousy and in this person's case like grief, loss, because we're very easily fooled by these language models that put things together. On another kind of AI note, we're also the ability of uh, visual AIs to put together photographs of things that didn't happen are getting better and better very, very quickly. I'm almost glad because were you seeing this stuff around today, all the photos of like Trump being arrested
Yeah, I like that.
and like him running away from the cop? And I mean, if you look at it, there's things that don't make sense. And one of them, he's wearing a police belt for some reason because it's just putting together stuff.
Right.
But they're continuing to get better and much easier to catch. That being said, I'm hoping that just the sheer amount of images that are out here like this and their implausibility will increase the speed of the learning curve for like normal people to recognize that you can't trust any photo that you see as being an accurate real life event.
Well, is there a chance that the marketplace could get so flooded with fakes that it's simply undiscernible? That
I mean,
we're here.
undiscernible, but I think that I think the market's already getting flooded with fakes. People are using it in very clickbaity ways. So there's been all this Trump stuff with the arrest stuff today, which obviously he was not arrested today. So that's,
Right.
as predicted. But but there were all these photos of him out there being arrested today, like fighting with all these agents and whatever, running away and all different stuff. But a lot of them were
I
pretty
enjoyed
funny.
them.
A lot of them were pretty funny, but I think the ubiquity of that really hopefully will make people realize that you just can't anymore take any image at face value. Because those ones were particularly outrageous scenarios and Trump definitely wasn't being arrested, so it wasn't that difficult, but there's all of a sudden these things are now so accessible. There's all of a sudden going to be photos out there of everything, and some of them might be more believable scenarios.
And I worry about that because I think that that hi. You wrote a message where? Oh, where is it? Can you bring it here? Where is it? Okay. Thank you. That's nice.
But if you have photos, you're not far from having video too.
Yeah, no, I think
But there's
they've already done audio, but my worry is this, Alice, is that if you notice today,
right.
there was with the Trump stuff, there were a bunch of people saying Trump was getting arrested and showing him like on the ground and then tussling, whatever. there were some others. So those are like the anti-Trump people, right? Or who
Mhm.
want to make fun of him. Then there were others that said that were saying Trump was took on 5 cops and beat them all up and got away.
Mhm.
But my problem is that people are enjoying this and obviously in some way are weaponizing them.
Right. But
To,
these are sort of funny ones, and my
their
hope
own
is
to
that it
feed their
just
own cause in the same way that people like bobblehead dolls. Oh, I'll make a fake AI thing today about Trump doing this. It'll be a
right.
fun.
My hope is it's just so everywhere and becomes so normalized that people just won't trust any images, that people will rapidly realize you can easily make images and soon videos of anything. There are lots and lots of ethical problems here, though. One that I saw people posing as a hypothetical on there is there's already these like grandparent scams. Have you heard of these? Where a scammer will like call an elderly person and say like, "We have your grandson Jack, and we're gonna kill him if you don't like wire us $3,000 right now," which is like, you know, people generally don't fall for them that often. But like now imagine you're an elderly person and this is accompanied with like your grandson's voice, like
Right.
images of him tied up. Like, I mean, you can have and potentially video. Like you can have all this stuff and like now this scam becomes much easier to fool somebody with, especially somebody like older people. Like some of them just aren't online and like wouldn't know this stuff, that this stuff is even available or out there, and it's becoming so available so quickly. Or what about like pornographic uses? What about people making like, we're very, very close to like any teenage boy who gets dumped being able to make a convincing porn of his possibly underage ex with just a couple of photographs of her doing all
Mm.
kinds of acts and distributing it to the whole school. Like, is that like okay because there's not really an underage person in the porn? Or is it like, do we have a serious big ethical problem on our hands and the technology's moving much, much, much faster than our ability to even envision the scenarios for abuse?
Well, that's interesting. What if you right now using Photoshop just did that with an image? Is that a crime? I guess it would be a crime to try to
Right
portray.
now,
It's defamatory to try to portray somebody.
I suppose
I
it depends what you did with it. I mean, like, but people get around, like, for example, child porn rules even with like animated pornography, right? Where they'll have like a lot of sort of anime porn, which is usually called hentai. Like the characters look very, very, very young and act very, very young. And they get around it by saying like, no, it's an 18-year-old in the cartoon. They just look young. And so, how does that work with like photoshopped images? Like
yeah.
but say it's a computer generated image of a child, it's not really a child. Now, if you make child porn of this like AI generated person that's not really a person, but it's child porn, like, is that okay? Like, are we fine with that just existing in society and it being out there? Or should we just, I mean, my opinion, frankly, is anyone who wants to look at that, real or fake, we should just lock them up and throw away the key, period, the end. Like, we just don't need them in the world. Goodbye. That's my actual opinion. But yeah, like
So
I mean, I think there are a lot of ways that you could very rapidly abuse this technology, and I think the faster that people start realizing that it's out there and anybody can just make any fake images, videos, audio, text, like anything, the better. Like
well, you could
we have
also
to
let's
educate
just say
people so much.
and I'm going to go to men here because men are going to use all this stuff immediately for sex because men are men.
Right. Just like Replica.
Why wouldn't you? You know, why wouldn't I, if I have a crush on the single version of Alice Shattuck?
Mhm.
I know you from somewhere. We went to college together, or whatever.
Okay.
And I have a crush, and we're on social media. Why wouldn't I use AI? So when we text each other, why wouldn't I use AI to have the most well means tested response to everything you say, and the most vetted, tried and true subject matter? I know that you're into kitten adoptions and the color blue. Like I can
Mhm.
know everything that you love.
Like Cyrano de Bergerac, only with an AI.
Exactly. And if I do that, is that me misrepresenting myself? Well, it would be, of course, but all guys always misrepresent themselves, especially if
Mhm.
you're batting above your average. You know, so I mean, I wonder if could be anything if you fabricate every part of the conversation, and then you can but enough so that you can fall in love, because people fall in love online all the time.
Right.
Then all of that is set, and then you just have a meeting and then hook up there based on all the work that AI did for you.
Right. Or, for example, like, what if there's been times I've tried to read you books and stuff that I liked that you just didn't like and want to listen to, but I wanted to try and read it to you so that we could talk about it.
Mhm.
What if I made a fake you that would talk to me about books that I'd read?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's that you would have a dumping ground, as I would call it, for all the useless crap that you wanted to say that I never wanted to hear.
Hmm. But don't you
And
think that would be bad for our relationship, though, actually? If I was developing a separate relationship with an imaginary version of you that wasn't really what you were like, that I have more emotional connection with than I had with you?
well, I think it could start to leave bread. It could start to be the beginning of leading breadcrumbs to something else, because then you could use the AI and say, "What's the nearest actual human version of you, replica Tom?" And it could say, "Oh, that's Jake Kalfowitz from
Hmm.
Oshkosh. He actually is into all these useless books too, and he actually
Or,
likes to
but
talk about this."
what if, right? Like, I mean, what if the AI was modeled after another person? Like, what if I said, I mean, say even somebody who's like not real, who I like couldn't hook up with in real life, right? But say I was like, oh, like I really like James Joyce. He seems like he'd be really fun to talk to. And like I had a huge like emotional connection and texting relationship with James Joyce, or an
Well,
AI version of James Joyce,
well, right, but
who
you
was
would need
known to
some
write
kind of,
extremely erotic letters to his wife, by the way, so he was not
but
afraid.
there would have to be some
Hmm.
kind of. It would just be. It would just be imaginary, but it would be sharing. There's no doubt, because there's not even a chance, Alice.
Yeah.
There are things that even married couples probably wouldn't tell each other, just for the sake of protecting the husband.
Hmm.
Like I had semi-sex with the husband's boss at a Christmas party 4 years ago, and you think about that all the time. That's the kind of thing, or the wife's boss, whatever. That's the kind of thing that you
What's
want to express.
semi-sex?
I like oral sex, whatever.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing that you want to express to somebody. You can't tell your sister, your mom. I can't tell my brother or anybody about
Hmm.
like this affair I had. But you can find somebody in AI who you can finally get it off your chest and not have to worry about there being risk.
Hmm.
And because I mean, there's a whole, and I think actually that would go big time for women, because women still are more, at least
Do you
at
think
least
AI therapists could be as good as an average real therapist? They'd certainly have
yes, because
better
I
and
think
faster availability for an
any male
appointment.
therapist who heard a woman talking about this would be immediately aroused, depending,
Therapists
obviously.
have very strict ethical rules about hooking up with
I know a
patients.
lot of people do. That's right. Well, I'll tell you. So wouldn't that be the thing? Or how about this, Alice?
Hmm.
What if you could dispatch AI to feel you out? What if I send, or somehow can build and dispatch an AI person a
Who's
personality.
Kyle Chandler? Trish wants to talk to AI Kyle Chandler.
I don't know. Is he an actor, Kyle Chandler?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Keep going with your hypothetical.
So what if I want to, Susie Jones, the next door neighbor who's always gardening in a sundress, creepy Tom Shattuck wants to see what her situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Can I guess I'd have to somehow lay the seed somewhere to do it, but is there a way that you can? Well, actually, I guess I could. I was going to say feel her out by talking to her, but you don't have to. You could simply just do a lot of investigation into her,
Mm-hmm.
find out everything about her. I guess you could. Maybe you couldn't.
I don't know.
It
I would
seems
think
like
being rejected through AI is the same as being rejected. Are you thinking you could have the AI be like, so that guy Tom Shattuck who lives next door is pretty cute, huh?
that's exactly right. That's what I use it for. Or in a sense, in the
But if
same
she
way
was
that
like, no, what a gross, ugly old dude, like, wouldn't that still be just getting just as rejected?
well, then I have my AI guy argue with her.
No, he's such a great guy. Such good hair.
Well, but no. Or how about you could use it to be like as in Groundhog Day, just workshop different ideas, see if they catch with her using the AI guy. I don't know. I do know that. Or how about this? How about
Okay.
for swingers, not swingers, people who want to cheat on each other, open relationships.
Okay.
You're, you put a version of you out there to meet somebody else's version of them. Have the versions do all the work, so that you feel like you've done all the work in vetting, and because of the rapport
Yeah,
back and
you
forth.
could even have like an AI version of if you want to see if like a relationship with someone would work out or whatever.
Yeah.
You could have like an AI version of you and an AI version of the person like talk to
Yeah.
each other and
You'd go on
see
a
like
date.
like speed
See what they
dating but
ordered. See if
without
he
the
held
bothering.
see if he held the door. See what they ordered. See if she talked too much. See if he was crude and looking at his phone.
Mhm.
Sharing any number of things. So like you could you could have at the end of the day when you get back from work the tally of how the 7 dates went with the 7 guys that took 4 nanoseconds, and that's it. And you've got a complete rundown of the dates and whether or not they should get a second date until you work up to an in-person date. So AI has done all of the work, all of the groundwork. All you have to do is go and kiss.
I guess so. It seems joyless to me.
Well, I mean, but if you're a guy, why not have 100,000 of these things, armies of them? Why? Why wouldn't any guy just do that? But you're right. It does seem joyless. And also, it seems joyless. And also, I come from a time where I assume I'm being screwed with. For the first year we were dating, I assumed it was all a joke. I was always looking for recording devices, and then Ashton Kutcher being somewhere around the corner.
Kyle Chandler is an actor, by the way.
Okay, is he handsome? Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
t-shirt on you. You got a great, very good
Yeah.
shoulders
American
now.
actor making his screen acting debut in 1988 television film Quiet Victory. Friday Night Lights, Bloodline. He's a coach from Friday Night Lights, I guess. I
No.
didn't watch that.
No.
But sure, if you can dream it, you can have it, Trish, in AI. So.
Well, Alice, I want to tell you something. We're going to move on from this, okay?
Yep.
And don't. How do I say this? You know that I feel we've had a good run.
Yep.
13 years married, or 14 years, whatever it's been.
Closing in on 13 anyway.
We've had a bunch of kids and a family and a house and a life together and this and that. And I do love you. I'll always have a place in my heart for you. But I am moving on. I am engaged to be married to somebody else.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
as a matter of fact. And I didn't want to tell you. She works at a place I call Electric Blue. Have you heard of this place? and her name, you'll be pleased, Alice. I found one of yours again. So she's essentially one of yours. Her name is Katrina, Katriyna Kulakova.
Yeah.
And she is a Russian lady,
Mm-hmm.
director of operations for the Blue
Electric Blue.
Electric Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to just meet Katrina,
They
because
opened
you are
that
actually
appeal process.
invited to the wedding.
Now, I also spoke with the
Here she is.
Electric Blue's
Listen to her.
operations director. She says specifics will have to come from the club's attorney, but according to her knowledge, there isn't an investigation going on right now. She told us there is no reason for any prostitution or human trafficking investigation here at Electric Blue. So there is no prostitution going on.
Honey, this is no prostitution been going on in this place for 35 years. We never been charged with any prostitutions. This is just, are they out of their minds? We gave them any kind of records, any kind of videos that they want through the years.
Now, she is tall, Russian, wears sunglasses, is dressed in a gorgeous coat, and has red hair. And Alice, if you were to wager whether or not Katrina, in fact, believes that there has been prostitution going on in this place, as she called the news guy honey, what would you say?
I'll say what I said the other day when we discussed this, which is that I believe there is some overlap between the group of people who perform at places like Electric Blue and the type of people who engage in other forms of sex work.
Hold on, I just got to hear her again.
Honey, this is no prostitution been going on in this place for 35 years. We never been charged.
Oh, Katrina.
Does that mean, by
Kulikova.
the way, that is the place only 35 years old, or does that mean that they used to have prostitution but they stopped 35 years ago?
Well, I would say that means that since the place has been open, they have never had prostitution in there ever. I don't know what the director of operations quite does. Well, no, I believe I do know. Actually, Katrina Kulakova, who we love.
That seems like a pretty high title for a strip joint.
Guys, what's going on? What's going on? Guys? Sally? Any human? Hold on one second. Go ahead, Phil, for a second. Okay, that was Max.
Okay. So now do I not have to fill now?
You don't have to fill now.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Yeah, he's good. Good.
Okay. Well, my favorite discourse is back, I have to tell you, which is tipping discourse.
Oh, discourse. What's
discourse? Means online conversations about something.
Oh, okay. A real discourse.
Yeah.
Tipping discourse. Okay. But can you react, by the way, to the fact that I've moved on from you to Katrina Kulakova?
I wish you guys well. Pop the champagne, baby.
Do you like her style?
I love it. I think it's very classy and attractive.
It is. Eastern European, cold, like my wife.
Mm-hmm. Like Melania's pointy Christmas trees.
Oh,
By the way, and there were some photos of Barron Trump floating around. His birthday was yesterday, by the way. Happy birthday, Barron Trump, 17. Yeah. Do you realize, and this was a couple years ago when Trump said this, but I didn't put the pieces together. Do you realize when he was 15, he was 6'7"?
I knew he was really tall. I don't know that I knew he was that tall.
At 15.
What is he now? 8?
I don't know. That's wild. That's really wild. I mean, that's really, really tall. Because I guess Trump said he's already beat Eric, who's 6'6", as an adult. So
no way, Eric's 6'6".
He's the tallest in the family. He's 6'6". They're all psycho tall.
Wow, I didn't know that. I've met some of them in person.
Yeah, but when you see photos of Barron walking with Trump and Melania, it's crazy. Because Trump's what, in the low 6s somewhere?
Yeah, I think he's around 6'3". But it is funny. Well, Melania's got to be pretty tall, and
she's only 5'11".
Really?
Yeah, which is tall for a woman, but not crazy tall. But yeah, I wonder how tall he is now. That's really crazy.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He always looked a little awkward, which actually Trump has too. If you look at
Mhm.
especially some older videos of Trump before he
Yeah.
had the affectation, he was always a little kind of hang doggy.
Yeah, but I'm kind of intrigued to see when he grows up like as an adult. But yeah, anyway, I forgot how I got onto that topic of Bear and Trump, but um anyway, I was going to talk about tipping, which is this person tweeted this story. You'll relate to this, I know. This woman tweeted, "Elmao, I effing hate Europeans sometimes. This table just left a $70 tip on a $700 check after chilling for hours. My manager asked them how their service was, and they were over the moon about my service. So he explained that the customary tip in the United States is 20%, and they were like, okay, and left."
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Well,
the
okay.
comments, because this is on Twitter where there's an international crowd, a bunch of people are like, "I can't believe that like you have to do that in America. That's ridiculous."
Mhm. We got the VAT tax over there, so it screws people up. It was always a
I
problem,
mean, I
believe me.
know that they don't understand, but I think they're like, a lot of them in the comments and quote tweets and stuff are like, "Your beef should be with your boss and your country's outdated nonsensical tipping system. To get mad at visitors with you is being petty. The
I mean,
American tipping culture has got to end. They should pay you guys an actual wage. You shouldn't put up with this."
it's the VAT tax. It's a problem.
Only Americans would complain about a $70 tip.
Well, really.
I mean,
Um,
yeah,
uh,
no,
uh,
I mean, like, when I go to other countries, I do the customs that are there. Like, if you went to
right.
a Japanese person's house and they all take their shoes off when you walk in the door, you would do that. You wouldn't just be like, "Well, I don't know what's wrong with your stupid country. In my country, we keep our shoes on when we walk through the house," right? Like, that's the culture here. If you don't like it, don't go to American restaurants. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, believe me, we used to when I was
They should just auto tip all the Europeans in restaurants, because otherwise it screws the servers so bad.
Harlan Atkinson said to me on Twitter, Alice, you'll be happy. Your wife is a babe.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Isn't that nice?
So nice.
What is this attitude?
That's very nice. I said.
Be warm. Like, this is why I've moved on to
Okay.
Katrina Kula.
Okay. I don't think she's warm either.
No, I don't think she is. I don't think she is. But I like to live dangerously. To one potential death to another. The problem with this is, and we used to get it in the hotels all the time, but and I won't say which particular hotel, but people used to the senior guys would always pick based on nationalities for a lot of people, who they want to help out, the tipped employees. So, for instance, like Canadians, there were sucky tippers. So the new guy always had to deal with the Canadians and checking the Canadians in and bring them up to the room.
But even that to me is different than with waiters, because, correct me if I'm wrong, like bellmen and stuff make a wage that's like higher than minimum wage before.
Yeah,
tips,
but not
correct?
ridiculously. But yeah, but not ridiculously.
Yeah, not ridiculously, but more than like the $2.35 or whatever dumb wage waiters make.
Yes.
Because waiters make like nothing if you don't give them tips.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
there's no doubt with that. But still, even though they made the wage, they still, people just don't like being around people who are stiffy, people who are sucky tippers. So,
right.
yeah. So Canadians wonder why, like, they don't get a lot of help around from American places. That's why. That's just why. And New Yorkers wonder why when they check into hotels in Boston, everybody fights over them because they tip very well. And I'm not gonna, anything more will get me in trouble. But it just also, people know these tip affects behavior for the next guy. So, like, the next dude in from Sweden is
You've
wondering.
given your country a bad reputation. This is my favorite comment on the tipping thing out of all the comments, though. "It is literally ableist to expect me to tip. I am comfortable executing a transaction in exchange for a service, but adding an unspecified fee on top of it that measures how good of a person you are, the worst nightmare for anyone who is neurodivergent. I am not even being ironic."
Yeah, neurodivergent. What an a-hole. Yeah, well, but it is certainly an American thing,
Hmm.
and although I did have a somebody a panhandler in England would like tear into me for only giving him a pound note one time, and he was like almost became violent. He was not having it. He was not pleased. I was like, wow, you guys aren't supposed to be like this. But um, but I mean, people should try to know, but at the same time,
Well,
it's
and in
very
this
American
case,
because
though, the
it's
restaurant
violently
person actually
capitalist,
explained to them too.
it's violently capitalistic.
Hmm.
That in this country you could give somebody $5 or $50 because we want things. You know, we believe in investing in people, and it makes sense because you stiff the doorman Monday and Wednesday, you need a cab in the rain. There's cabs are hard to come by, and
Hmm.
good luck to you because you are last in the pecking order. You grease the doorman with 20, 40, or $60 Monday, and you need a cab Thursday in the rain. You are getting a cab from that
Hmm.
doorman before anybody else. So, and I like that about that's an American thing that people like status, so they'll grease people to be able to keep
Hmm.
their cars in front of hotels and other places. Um, and I do
Right.
like
Or
that.
even
But
things like Uber where they can rate the riders.
yes.
Never try and have a good Uber rating if you have kids, by the way. It's just hopeless. It's like my Uber rating sucks. But um yeah, it's like a lot of people hate that because it's so not equitable because if your Uber rating's below a certain amount, people just like won't pick you up.
Oh, poor Albie
Poor
Shadow.
me.
You want to tell people why that is, Alice?
No, that wasn't on my Uber.
Oh, that was hers. Why
That
is
was
your
our friend's
rating
Uber.
bad?
My rating's bad because I have ordered Ubers with kids in them.
Oh, with your kids?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so
my
they
kids are
rating you?
little freaking terrors.
Oh my
And so they
goodness.
give me bad ratings.
Oh,
No,
Albie, I'm sorry about that.
I should have a bad Uber rating for other reasons, but one of our friends' Uber ratings was unfairly impacted by that instead of mine. But yeah, that was a 30th birthday festivities problem.
That's right. In which at which Alice sprayed vomit all over the Uber.
Mostly I tried to be considerate and throw up in my own purse, which didn't help the
Oh,
situation.
what a night. What a night. I don't have this problem with Katrina. So do you think the chat will come through?
I don't know. Who do we have tonight?
I don't know. Let's try this.
Okay. It is brought to you by Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce, which is a delicious hot sauce. I haven't been able to find any in California. I should have brought some with me, I guess. But it's a great hot sauce. You don't have to sacrifice heat for flavor. There's what else about it? It's flavored with sea salt, so it's really good for you. Has lower sodium than a typical hot sauce. They also donate 5% of the proceeds to the Fallen Firefighters Foundation, so you're doing good while you're eating delicious hot sauce. You can find it at Market Basket, Big Y, ChelseaFireHotSauce.com. So if you're anywhere else in the country, you can actually find it online as well.
Hey, Tom and Alice. I don't know if you saw this thing about this TikTok mom. She was wearing leggings that were quite revealing, sheer, see-through, and
Did you hear
she
about
was
this?
I did not
dropping
hear
her
about
kid
it.
off at school, her son, and yeah, apparently she was unaware that they were so sheer and see-through, and you could clearly see her ass.
Okay. So TikTok mom dropping kids off at school. I haven't seen too many moms where it be too revealing at school. Have you?
Mm-mm.
Alice,
Not
where's the
generally,
milk capital of New England?
no.
You know this. We've talked about this.
I forget now though.
I want this in my eulogy.
I
He
don't
used
know,
to
Tom.
opine
Where's
about the milk capital of New England. It is the Boston Museum of Science.
Oh,
Correct. Take my word for it.
okay.
She's Ironhead. You seen this Jade Venus? She's a cutie pie. I've only seen headshots of her. I know she works in the adult industry. Oh, what a cutie pie. Well, gotta drink this Sludge Callahan coffee. Oh, God.
I miss Jerry since he's gone to Newsmax, Alice. Remember, I was a regular with Jerry.
I know.
Poor me. Poor. Wait a second.
What?
Did you go through these today?
No.
These are. You've already played these, right? Okay. That's it. That's all you have. Oh, here's my guy. Hey, I'm going to help you in a moment here. I'm going to play the music, Alice. Believe me, it's on right now.
Well, thank you for listening. Even if you, like me, cannot hear the music, if you want to join us, if you want to see us fight before the show starts about how we can't get the music to play, then you can join our Patreon live streams at
Total disaster
patreon.com.
this morning. Just fell on our faces to start with. Fell on our faces, but we recovered nicely, Alice. You did a great job.
But
And
you
you're
can see
welcome.
that on the live streams. If that's the kind of bonus content that you want, then you can find that at patreon.com/burnbarrel. If you want to watch the show for free, that's also totally cool. You can do that at burnbarrelpodcast.com. There's links to all different places to listen. You can watch on YouTube or Rumble if you like that. Anyway, thank you once again, and we will
We're
talk
out
to
of
you
music,
tomorrow.
Alice. See you later, babe.